Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to wait to see if people join the chat. I'm just here tonight to talk a little bit about my upcoming trip, and I just want to make sure we are live. So let's just see. Here we go. I have I have this playing here on the side to make sure that we're good. Okay, here we go. Well, welcome everybody. So I am heading to Japan at the end of this month. And I really just wanted to hop on here and talk to some of the people from my first channel, which is my thrifting channel called Lori's Boston Found, and then maybe have a chance to talk to some of my new friends over here in the pen community. So when I started this channel, I kind of came in here not really sure what I wanted to talk about, but I wanted to do this as kind of a channel where I talk all about my different passions. And at the time, I had just joined Weight Watchers and was going to chronicle that journey and talk a little bit about journaling and planning because I've been passionate about this for a while. And some stuff with handbags and some vlog style stuff, family stuff. And then it has kind of morphed now into this kind of journaling channel that I'm having so much fun hanging out over here, learning about fountain pens. So a little bit about myself. I've been planning a planner for several years. I've been thinking recently that I want to do a video for my real planner nerds that would include me on like the evolution of my planning, because I remember when I first got excited about planners, I was using like the mom agenda. And then I went to Erin Condren, and then I did the Passion Planner for several years. I was like an affiliate for them. And then I discovered the Hobonichi, and I went into rings last year. So I think it's funny how our styles change. But I will say that it wasn't until I started using fountain pens, which has just been about a year. Hello. Hi, Art Mingle. Thanks for being here. I'm so happy you made it. Wait a second. I just want to make sure I'm getting everything in the chat. Hi, I love your fountain pen videos. Thank you, Daphne. How are you? It's nice to meet you. Um, it wasn't until I started using fountain pens that I just got so excited about writing. I've never been much of a journaler. I was kind of like a journaler wannabe. And I'm kind of a scatterbrain. So I would start like 4 different planners in a year. I'm notorious for having multiple planners, but I think I've settled into what works for me. But recently, with the introduction of fountain pens into my life, I just feel like I'm writing every day. I call it my free therapy. And it's just been so much fun for me. So as much as I am passionate about thrifting, and I imagine some of my thrifting friends will be over here. I see one right now. Amber Resells. How are you, Amber? Thank you for being here. Amber's a good friend of mine, and she is also a reseller. So I feel like my worlds are going to collide tonight. And I mean that in the best way. So I'm excited for everybody to be here. So I just want to talk quickly about like what I plan to talk to, because I'm very easily thrown off track, but that's okay. I plan on talking until either Lumpy loses his mind or my battery runs out or we hit like 90 minutes. I'm shooting for 90 minutes. Sometimes I aim for an hour and then I always go over. So I figure if we aim for 90 minutes, we'll be able to cover everything. Hi, Mary Ellen. Thanks for being here. Hi, Jules and Amy. So nice to see you. Handmade by Laura Lee. Thank you for being here so much. Atkins. Hello. Hi, everybody. Oh, this is Donna from Texas. Thank you for using your first name, because I'm terrible with some of the screen names. Jules, nice to see you live. Thank you so much. Yana, welcome. Hello, Lori. I'm a fountain pen converter. Thanks to you. Oh, that they call that in the pen community a penabler. I've penabled you, Yana. So I'm happy that you're here. I think the cool thing about fountain pens is that you can get in at any level. I have $5 pens that I use every day, and I have ridiculous pens that I love too. So I think any price range you can get in. They have disposable pens, although I'm a thrifter, I'm a recycler, so I'm not into the disposable stuff. But hi, Stephanie. I'm so excited to hear about your Japan trip. I love your NYC trip. I love Watch It 3 times. Oh, and you love your Estes. Don't you love Estes? I have my Rocky top right here. This is my latest Estes. And they just announced the SDJ in that like chocolate one. Anything brown, I'm such a sucker. So thank you, Stephanie. I had so much fun in New York. I went to the Fountain Pen Hospital. And one of the things that I want to do on this channel, because I really am at a stage in my life where I get to travel, and my husband travels a lot for work, which is how I'm going to Tokyo, which we're definitely going to talk about. I feel like I have the opportunity to visit some of these stores. We have Apple Boom right here in Boston, and I visited Apple Boom for like the week after Mother's Day for the first time. And I was so confused about Apple Boom because I think it used to be like Brimfield Pens. And when I first got into pens, I kept looking for the shop and it was closed. I do go to Bob Slate's in Cambridge. And then in one of my travels, I realized, or I think I was watching Yost Appleboom on one of his podcasts, and I put two and two together and realized that they bought, was it Brimfield pens? And I couldn't believe it because I had been watching all of his videos and he's in the Netherlands, correct? And then all of a sudden I found out he was here in Boston. So we have Appleboom in Boston. We also have Bob Slate's in Cambridge. That's where I got my Rocky Top. This is a great store. Very old school though. They don't have an online presence and I wish they did because I would love to support them. Oh my goodness, friends, we need to say hello to Tina, the legend. Tina is my dear friend and she's also my reselling assistant. Oh, and I'm wearing my Tiki J sweatshirt. Yes, thanks for the plug, Tina. My husband started a clothing line with me and it's called Tiki J Athletic Wear. And we've been terrible at marketing that, but this is one of the hoodies and it's so comfy. So I decided to wear it. Tina and I worked together for over 8 years at American Girl. And we loved it. We had so much fun there. So when our daughters were little, and she reached out to me when she saw that I was drowning in inventory, and she's like, "Hey, I just want to reach out and ask if you need help. You said we're thinking about hiring a virtual assistant. How about me?" And we work really well together because Tina thrives in order and structure, and I apparently thrive in chaos. And so we're good together because she keeps me very grounded. I love you, Tina. Thanks for being here tonight. Hi, Zolane from PA. Oh, thank you. Am I saying your name correctly? Thank you for being here, hon. We're going to be going out to Pennsylvania. We're going to the whiteout game at Penn State this year, which is going to be an experience. We've never been to whiteout, but it's my daughter's senior year, so we're going. A reseller and pen collector. Oh, my favorite. Hi, Deb. Thanks for being here. Hi, everybody. I'm going to try to say hi to everybody. If I miss you, oh, Jules is saying hi to you, Tina. Tina and I are really hitting our death pile. So, okay, see, I'm already off track. We're going to talk about Japan, why I'm going, how that trip came to be, and how excited I am about that. Then, before we found out about Japan, oh, like 2 days before, I booked a flight to Orlando for the Orlando Pen Show. And then my husband's like, "Hey, do you want to come to Tokyo?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is too much." But yes. So I have like back-to-back trips, both pen focused. They are both, I'm going to film at both of these places. So I didn't know if I have any pen veterans here. Oh, good. I pronounced that perfectly. I hope I can do it twice. I can't wait to travel to New York and visit those stores. So inspired. Yes. So my two stores in New York, Fountain Pen Hospital and Yoseka Stationery. I'm going to talk a little bit about Yoseka tonight. So we'll talk about Japan. We'll talk about Orlando Pen Show. I'll share with you some of my pens. I have a pen. I got the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande in the primary manipulation, and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it. So I want your opinion because these come and you don't know what the colors are going to be till you get it. And I'm just not sure. So I wanted to hear your opinion. Oh, hi. I miss what I know. I used to do lives more often and I haven't. So it's really nice to be back. And I hope that we can all play nicely together, my thrifting friends and my pen friends. So my mom tells me to not quit my day job when it comes to my pens because she finds my videos boring. And I said, "That's okay. You can listen to them before bed, and then I can put you right to sleep when I talk about how the ink dries on my paper, literally. And that excites me and it can help you go to bed." So has anybody here in the audience ever been to Japan? Because this is a first time for me. So my husband has a client out there and he has been 10 times. And it wasn't until last December when I had really started to get into fountain pens when I was like, "Wait a second, you're going to Japan?" And then I immediately hopped online, searched for stores, found the store Itoya, and then started to make my wish list. I contacted somebody at customer service at Itoya and said my husband was coming. They were amazing. We were going to schedule like a live, like a Zoom chat. And then we quickly realized that it was easier to correspond via text messages, because God bless them, because they were great with their English and I'm completely useless when it comes to Japanese. So they were able to communicate with me. They had the bag waiting for my husband when he got there. And I decided to get only Japanese brand pens, and it was just phenomenal. So I was so excited when he went on that trip. And from that moment on, I said, if you ever go back to Japan, I'm coming with you. And then we ended up with this opportunity. So we're going, and I'm actually going to be there when the Hobonichi release goes live on September 1st. So I'm trying to decide if I want to be crazy. Who am I kidding? I'm definitely going to go to one of the stores for the Hobonichi opening and try to pick out my things. Okay, I want to see where we're at here. I'm not even into pens and I like watching the videos. Oh, good. Thank you. Well, like I said, they can put you to bed. I've been looking forward to this live. Lots of love, Nikki from Southern California. Hi, Nikki. Thanks for being here. Hi, Thrifty Pia. How are you, honey? Nice to see you. Okay. So I have Japan kind of mapped out, and Itoya, the store that I went to, I do have a video that shows all of the pens that I got from Itoya. If you have any questions about pens, I purposely came upstairs. I have taken over my son Anthony's bedroom. He's 24. He lives in New Jersey now, and I got a new desk in here. And this is kind of my place where I come and I close the door and I just kind of get into my pen zone. And I love it so much. So I purposely did my live from up here. So if you guys had any questions about pens, I could pull them out and we could chat. And okay, so as far as Tokyo goes, Ginza is an area that is within walking distance from from the hotel that we're staying at. So I can walk to Ginza on my own. He said it's like under a mile. So he's going to kind of map it out for me. I don't think I feel really comfortable in like taxis or trains by myself, but I'll feel pretty good about walking. So I'm excited to go to Ginza. One of the other stores that I want to visit is called Ancora. And that is the store, I believe they're sailor pens. They're like the lower end steel nib sailor pens, but you can pick the all the components of your pen. So this is a Sailor pen for my reseller people. Sailor is a Japanese brand. They have beautiful, beautiful pens. And these Jay got me in Japan. This is the Christmas pudding that he got. And these have 14 karat gold nibs. A couple of these have 21 karat gold nibs, and they write like butter. I love them so much. But you can assemble one at the store in Cora. And to my understanding, at the Washington, D.C. pen show, I think Sailor was coming in, and I don't know if they were launching it or announcing it, but you can now get those in America, but they're like 3 times the price. So I thought it would just be fun, even though I have Sailors that I love, I thought it would be fun to go and mix and match I don't know if you can choose the finials, the section, the cap and the barrel of the pen. So I thought that would be fun. So Ancora is on my list. And that is, I also want to go to the Travelers Company. So does anybody here use Travelers Notebooks? I'm just getting into Travelers Notebooks. That's Lumpy saying hi. He's downstairs. I'm just getting into Travelers Notebooks. Jay actually got this for me in Japan. And then I went to Yoseka Stationery and I got this little brass tag that is, it's Japan. It's the Travelers Factory in Japan. So they have a lot of Japan exclusives there. And I know right at Tokyo Station, they have a Travelers Notebook store within Tokyo Station, Travelers Factory. So I'm going to go there and get some of the store exclusives. When Jay went, I didn't know much about the exclusives and I just wanted to get what I liked. I didn't want to get exclusives just because they were exclusive. I wanted to get things I was passionate about. So I gave him a list, but this time I'm going to go for some of the store exclusives. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, it's a 14-hour flight or 13 hours. And it's going to be my first time traveling to Japan. So I'm psyched. Has anybody in the comments ever been? I would love to hear from you. Here we go. Wait a second. So excited for you to go to Japan after seeing what your hubby found for your last time. Always love your videos. Hot. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was really exciting when he came home. I kind of rationed those pens when he first got back from Japan because I almost felt guilty like opening them all at once. So I saved some for Christmas and the Shape of Heart, which is a pen put out by Platinum. This was one I think I tried to wait until um, Valentine's Day, but I don't think I waited that long. This has Swarovski crystals inside this cap. And on all of these pens, the little I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but they punch out the little center of the nib, and it's in a heart shape, and then what they do with the Shape of Heart is they take the part that they punched out, and they put 2 little gold hearts inside with the Swarovski crystals, so if you kinda shake the cap around a little bit, you'll be able to see the gold hearts in here. So much meaning behind a lot of the pens, which I think is really fun. Oh my gosh, am I behind here? Let me see. How we doing? Not yet, but I can't wait to go to Japan. Yeah, I'm super excited. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and also while I'm there, I of course have to go thrifting. So I have identified some stores. There's a store called Second Street. Ginza has some more high end. You can get a lot of like luxury handbags, but they're super high end. And I don't know, that's not really what I'm going for on this trip. I want to check out the Superior Labor also, which will be pretty exciting. So we'll see. We'll see what I get to. Anything is going to be wonderful. And then when we get back from there, it's only like 5 or 6 days, and then we go to the Orlando Pen Show. So my head's gonna be spinning. Hopefully, my, assistant Tina is going to make a pit stop at my house midweek to, send out any packages that I sold on Poshmark or on eBay for my reselling job, and, my mom is going to take care of Lumpy. And so I think we have everything in place for a successful trip, but we'll see. And my kids will be back at school. So that's why everything kind of lined up. If Jay was going to Japan even a week earlier, I don't think I would have been able to go because I want to make sure my kids are set for their school year. But yeah, so that's what's going on over here. Does anybody have any questions for me or any comments about anything relating to reselling or life or anything in general? Um, I also I will definitely I'll pay attention to the chats, and if any questions pop up, I'll be sure to send them up there. But one of the most recent pens that I got was this pen from Yoseka Stationery. I have their refresh pen. So they created 3 pens that are put out by Sailor, but designed specifically for Yoseka. Yoseka Stationery is a store in Brooklyn that I visited. And I also have a video about my trip to Brooklyn. And there's just something about Yoseka. You know, when you feel like you connect with a business and it's not so much because of what they sell, but because of who the people are who work there and who run it. And this was another connection that I made when I started watching YouTube videos about fountain pens. I started watching these videos called What's in My Pen Case. And there's this cute young woman, Daisy, and she would have guests on and they would go through the pen cases and check out what some artist or other YouTuber or someone in the fountain pen world had in their pen case, and I really started to enjoy those, and then they had, like just, like, catching up with the Yoseka, and I was watching them, and then one day, I was searching online for a pen, and I saw Yoseka, and I made the connection, and then I kind of realized that all of these pen shops also had YouTube channels, so then I started watching Goulet Pens with the Pencast, and actually, I was so inspired by Drew and Brian over at Goulet Pens on the Pencast. I need to write to Drew and tell him this, that on my reselling channel, I started doing a thrift cast with a very similar format to the Pencast. So if you're familiar with the Pencast, I now do a thrifted version of that. So I do like a Q&A section. And I don't do what's new because a lot of my stuff is recycled, thrifted, but I do my flip of the week and my flop of the week. So whatever I sold that was really high profit or some sort of sale that was exciting to me, and then maybe a mistake that I made. There's plenty of mistakes to choose from that I share. And then what else do we do on the thrift cast? I kind of give a little update about myself. Oh, I give a tip of the week. So I basically followed their format from the Pencast, and I now do a thrift cast on my other channel, which I'm due to do one of those videos pretty soon. Um, yeah, so I went to Yoseka the first time and I got the refresh. And then I ordered this, which is their home pen. They had 3 pens in their series. One was their origin pen, which was a green pen that I did not get. I bought the refresh pen in person when I was in Brooklyn. And then they did a pre order for their home pen because once they designed the pen, I'm actually editing this video, so it's kind of at top of mind. But when they were designing the pen, I believe it was Ashley from their store who designed this. They used 4 colors, which is kind of untypical. So the finial is like kind of like a mossy green, like an olive green. And then the cap is clear with little specks of gold. The body of it is like this nice vanilla color. And then the section is another color. So when they got the price from Sailor, it was much more expensive, I think, than they anticipated. And I'm paraphrasing, so you can definitely watch Daisy's video for the details. But basically, they had to do a pre-order in order to get the capital to place their order, was my understanding. So I ordered it. It came in on the pre-order. We got all these extra goodies because we were part of the pre-order, and I was so excited about it. And then there was a message that went out that these were not the exact design of their prototype. So the nib was supposed to be two-toned, so silver and gold. It is a 21 karat gold nib, so that was right. And then the hardware, so this stuff was supposed to be more of like a shiny gold. So I can show you the difference. So I don't know if you can see here. It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe you can tell better by the bands. See how this one is really like a yellowish bright gold, and this is a little more toned down. Truthfully, I like the toned down version even better. It's a little more subtle, but all of their orders came in wrong. And I just felt so bad for Team Yoseka. So they are working out something with Japan where they send everything back to Japan for the people who got their pens and want the original prototype. I'm super happy with mine. I need to message Daisy and tell her no need to send this back because I absolutely love it. But what a nightmare. And they handled it so well. They're fantastic. I just want to make sure nobody has commented in 11 minutes, and that's totally cool. But I just want to make sure that everybody is able to comment right now because they were coming in like very fast and furious, and then they just completely stopped. So I just want to make sure that you guys are able to comment. Oh, oh, you know what? They're not coming up for me. Oh, they're coming up on YouTube. My mom said, "Talk about notepaper that doesn't bleed from the Dollar Tree store." Okay, I definitely missed a bunch. So the messages froze on my screen here, but they're coming in on YouTube. So I'm really sorry as people are coming through. I'm going to go through my chat here because they stopped showing up on my broadcast. So let me start. Mom, I will definitely address that. Tina, I just want to make sure I haven't missed any. Yeah, so my last comment was this one that says, "So excited you're going to Japan." And then I have no comments after that on my screen. So Natalie said, "Did you get the new home Yoseka pen?" Yes, I did. I didn't even know you asked about that. But yes, I did. I just explained that, and I absolutely love it. Honestly, one of the best writing experiences. I'm just finishing editing, and I feel like I'm kind of dramatic when I'm writing because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But it is amazing. This is a 21 karat gold nib. And this is too, I don't think I realized that when I ordered it. The 14 karat gold nibs are a little bit stiffer. Some people prefer that when you write with a Sailor pen. This was my first 14 karat gold nib. I got this one on Amazon. It's a medium fine nib. When I first started writing with it, I thought the feedback was scratchiness, but it's not. Like it's just an acquired taste. But certain inks don't work great in this one. Where this is a broad nib and this is a medium nib, I have a shimmer ink. I have Diamine Cocoa shimmer in this, and it works so nicely. So I love my home pen. And yeah, stay tuned for that video. New England Betty Boop, thank you so much for being here. My friend Lisette, this woman shows up to every one of my lives. She's one of my moderators. She's a dear friend. She's such a love. And Lisette, I can't see in the comments here, but I believe Lisette has her very first Poshmark Live tomorrow night, Thursday. And we definitely want to show her a lot of love because it's her first time going live over there. She's going to kill it. And I can't wait to see her. Okay. Oh, Lisette even put in Tiki J athletics wear. Yeah, so on my website, Lori's Boston Found, you can get some of Tiki J's athletic wear. I have different shirts available too. We have been the worst marketers ever for this. Okay, Miss D said, I'm just getting into Traveler's Notebook as well as memory keeping. Yes, I was a creative memories consultant for 10 years. So that is a scrapbook company. And it's like a direct sales company that I did when my kids were babies. And I have so many supplies that I also need to sell. However, I love memory keeping, and I feel like journaling has kind of gotten me back into memory keeping a little bit. And I definitely think that traveler's notebooks are a fantastic way to do some memory keeping. In fact, I started with my passport size when we went to Maine, we went to Bar Harbor, and we went to Acadia. That's the word I'm looking for. We went hiking in Acadia. So I started my passport notebook over there. So I'm just getting into traveler's notebooks as well. I wouldn't say that they're part of like my everyday. So every day I started doing morning pages. And so I write in some notebook. And this is where I play with all of my pens, and I use different colors every day. I don't worry about spelling or complete sentences. I just wake up and I write, and I love it. Grab my coffee. If I can keep Lumpy at bay for a little bit, I start writing. And that's kind of where I get a lot of my thoughts for videos, for just what needs to be done that day, things that need to ship out, whatever's on my mind. And usually I end it with, Tina's going to be here in a half an hour. I have to rally. And that's like my last sentence because I have to go get ready for Tina to get here. But I write in that every single day. And then I also write in my Hobonichi for the first time in 3-4 years. I'm getting the B6 size. This is the A5 size, which I really like. And I write in it every day, but I'm finding that in the daily section. So I write in the morning, my morning pages, and then throughout the day or in the evening, I'll write in my Hobonichi. And it kind of is just, I'll do like a to-do list over here, and then just kind of like a reflection on the day. Sometimes I'm with it. You can see on this side, I obviously didn't get to the whole day. And I started doing this one thing that I really like. Oh, this is a good example. This was a good day of journaling. So I'll use one color over here. I use different colors in here, and then I get annoyed with myself, and I wish I just used black because I love the minimalist look sometimes of the planners that look so nice, but then I have to give myself permission for everything not to be pretty, because then it's like a writer's block when I want it to be perfect. But I started doing, I don't know if you can see, work-life balance. That's what I've been doing. Instead of like to do or work or personal, I do work-life balance. So on this day, the basic stuff for work, replied to comments on YouTube, shipped some stuff, created a reel or whatever. And then life, planning for Tokyo. I went to lunch with my husband. I watched the Swedish death cleaning on Peacock, and it was so good. That's the other thing I want to talk about at the end of this stream is how I'm decluttering for my reselling business. But we're going to talk about that at the end of the night. And made pesto for dinner with things from the garden. And then under balance, I had walked Lumpy, journaled, took a bath, and cooked with ingredients from the garden. So I kind of like splitting my day that way, but I feel like these pages are a little big. So I'm going to go down to a B6 this year, and I ordered Sterling Inks B6 planner, and that was a pre-order too. It's not in yet, but I'm going to get a Hobonichi when I'm in Japan. So it's going to be another year where I have like 12 planners. Okay, we had a great luck selling. Oh, Cindy says, we've had great luck selling the creative memory shapes and cutters on eBay. My mom and I were consultants too. Love memory keeping. Oh my gosh, that is fantastic. I'm so mad that these comments aren't showing up so I can share them on the screen. I'm the worst with technology sometimes. That is awesome to hear, Cindy. I really need to go through my stuff. Some stuff I'll keep, but 90% of it is new and packaged. Like I bought it to sell. But I think that as I'm going through some of my creative memory stuff, I may find little stationary things like some of the cutters or the micron pens when Creative Memories first started. That was like my favorite pen. Before Creative Memories had their own brand of pens, they used micron pens. And now in the stationery community, we still use them. And what do they look like? These are my little station. Look at this is an old one. That was, I think, what I used for Creative Memories. And they used to have this AP on here, which means it was like archival safe. So that's what we used to use. But I really do have to go through my Creative Memory stuff. But that's good to know some of the stuff is selling. I can see why. Never been to Japan, but they have several stores for scrapbooking, which they might have pens you like. I'm more of a scrapbooker person, by the way. Hope y'all get a chance to visit Tokyo Tower and try the food. That is on our list of things to do, Tokyo Tower for sure. I'm pumped about that. And yes, there are so many stationery stores, I can't even keep up, honestly. But I have a list of ones that I want to visit, and then I have the neighborhoods for thrifting. So I have 2 days where I'm gonna be on my own, and Jay's in meetings all day. Then Friday, we're together. We have a dinner that night with his work crew, and then Saturday, it's just the 2 of us, and we leave Sunday afternoon. So we'll have a lot of time together, and then I'll have a lot of time on my own. And Itoya is 2 stores. One of the stores is 8 stories. I'm like, I could just be there from sun up till sundown, and I'll be just fine. Okay. Oh, love. Hey, how are you? So inspiring. So now some of my Whatnot friends are here. I'm also going back to Whatnot. So for those of you who don't know, we lost my dad this year in March. And so the start of the year was just really hard for my mom and I. And my mom had her knee replaced in June. And so she has been such a trooper and she's really getting so much stronger now. But when my dad got sick, I left Whatnot because it was during the holidays and we were just like back and forth to Dana-Farber and it was Christmas time and all that stuff. So I haven't done a Whatnot show 7 or 8 months, and I put one on the calendar for September because part of my decluttering journey that I'm going through with reselling, I want to do a Whatnot show at least once a month. So some of my friends from Whatnot are here, which is so wonderful. How do you select a pen to use for the day? That is a great question. These are the nerdy pen questions that I love so much. So I have this case, which I feel like if I bring it over here, so many things are going to fall, but I'm going to attempt it. So this is my big pen case right here. Ooh, that's filling up way faster than I want to admit. So this is my pen case, and these are like a lot of my larger pens, my Leonardos, my Estes, some of my favorite pens, my top shelf pens, so to speak. But I also have my Sailors are the next tier down, which I've taken most of my Sailors out. And then down here are a lot of like my Twisbees and my Benus and some of like just more colorful, playful. I have my, what are these? My Lamy Safaris, Twisbees over here. This is a really underrated pen that I love so much. This is the Kaweco Student. And I really love this pen so much. There's so many I love. But anyways, in the morning, I simply wake up and I say, which pen speaks to me today? Because I'm such a weirdo. And I usually grab a few. So I try to use my Pilot Vanishing Point. So these are like my I don't know, I want to say my more professional pens that I really only put black ink, my Lamy 2000 and my Pilot Vanishing Point. These are the pens that I kind of use when I'm just like doing my to-do list. I also have Diatramus document ink in here so it won't bleed. All of the other inks are water based and they can run. So I try to use the black ones in here. So I usually grab kind of a businessy smart pen for journaling, but then for my morning pages, it's literally like whatever I'm in the mood for. So I recently got a Scribo pen, which I'm obsessed with. It's an Italian brand. It's my first flex nib, and it's just gorgeous. It has all these facets. Lumpy squeaking down there, and I feel a little bad, but so it's my first flex nib. This is the pen that I got for my 50th birthday. I got this one for my 50th, and then I got this Rocky Top from Esterbrook. So some days I'm in like a very like fun, bright mood. A lot of my Italian pens, which don't surprise me, are very like over the top, just like a lot of Italians. This one's beautiful though. This is a Leonardo Fiore Grande, and then for our anniversary, I got a Leonardo Momento Zero Grande in sand. So it really just depends on my mood. So I usually get something that has a broader nib for, not always, but for my morning pages, I kind of like to be colorful and just have fun. And then I usually carry a few around with me during the day. And it's like whatever strikes me. And I do think I'm a little ADD. And I think that's another reason why I like fountain pens, because I can use a different color every day. Or even if you have one single fountain pen and that's all you ever need or want or have, you can use that one fountain pen and you can change the inks. And it's like having a whole new pen. Like this pen that I was referencing earlier when I first got this pen, I really didn't like it because I wasn't putting the right inks in here. And then once I started using inks that worked, like if you have a very fine nib, you don't want to use like sparkly inks because it's harder for the ink to get through that nib. So I've learned that certain pens are better with more different types of ink. So you kind of learn as you go. I'm sorry, I have to come over here and check in with my chat. Never been to Japan. Oh, thank you, Lisette's doing Instagram. I love, love, love how excited and joyful you get talking about pens. Thank you. Thank you. That's from Creating Cute Art. Third floor, Itoya. Yes, that's where all the magic happens. That's where all the fountain pens are. So there's one pen exclusive at Itoya, and it's not going to break the bank, that I'm kind of excited about. And it's a Lamy Safari, or is it a Lamy All Star? But it's like almost like a bone color, and it has like a copper clip, and I believe the nib is black, and it's an Itoya exclusive. So I'm definitely going to get that when I'm there if it's available. But yes, I really need to think about like the pen. I don't want to go too crazy, but I have a feeling I might. Why are Sailor Pro gears so expensive? Ricky Tomatoes is asking that. You know, they are. They're so expensive. And do you want to talk about a cheap alternative? I have no idea why they're so expensive. And to my understanding, they're even starting to go up in price even within the past year. And that's what happened to Yoseka. The prices went up, and then they had to charge more for the pen. And I know I can't even say what I pay for some of these pens because my mom's in the chat and she'll kill me. Because my mom and I are bargain hunters, except I lose all rationale when it comes to pens. But I'm going to show you, for people who are new to pens or veterans, these are Jinhaos, and these are a knockoff to Sailors. And I also did a video comparing Jinhaos to Sailors. I don't want to like lose the chat over here. So, I mean, you can't they're not comparable in the sense that when I'm writing, especially with the 21 karat gold nib, I'm like, this pen is amazing. But if I'm writing with like the fine or the medium fine, and I'm comparing it to a Jinhao for the difference in price, Sailor pens, you can get a 14 karat gold nib on Amazon for about $75 or $80, but they go up to like $500-$600, like ridiculous, depending on if you get 21 karat gold, if it's a Pro Gear versus a Pro Gear Slim. The king of pens from Sailor is even more money than all of that. So there's a huge range even within Sailor pens. So I would say if you want to try a Sailor, I would go. I mean, I think the best deals are on Amazon, but also I really love to support the small shops because they're small businesses. And I love Gold Spot is so fantastic. Tom from Gold Spot, I absolutely love him too. And I think my first big order, I got my Benu iced caramel latte, which is an exclusive at Goulet pens. That was one of my first, like anything, just put coffee in the title and I'm a total sucker for it. So I got that from Goulet. But yeah, you can do okay. And I buy a lot because I am who I am. I've gotten a lot of my really nice pens on the secondhand market. I got my Mont Blanc. This is the Greta Garbo special edition. This is from the Muse series. I got this on Poshmark with Poshmark credit. And it's one of my favorite pens and it writes beautifully. And I would never pay retail for a Mont Blanc ever. So yeah, so I don't, the quality is nice on the Sailor Pro gears, but depending on who you are, it may or may not be worth it to you. And there's also a knockoff for the Pilot Vanishing Point called Majon, and you can get these really inexpensive. I was just watching the Doodlebug before I went live today because he was comparing some. I only have the Vanishing Point, and I know there are a lot of Japan exclusives with the Vanishing Point. So this is one of the pens I'm considering getting when I'm in Japan. This is a medium nib, and I might get a fine nib because I like my kind of more professional pens to write small if I need to. But there's like a champagne color that I don't think is a Japan exclusive that I would like to try. Is Restyle Secrets in the house? Where are you? Is she here, Lisette? Leonardo's are my favorite. Pilot VP and Decimo second, just because I love the click and the soft gold nib. Yes. So one of the things, okay, because I'm always speaking to like reselling people and pen people. But yeah, that is one of the most popular things about the Pilot Vanishing Point is it's a clickable pen. So for people who don't want the, the twisting off and taking it and put it, not that it's a big deal, but when you just want to be quick and practical, a lot of us are just used to the click here. So that's why the Pilot Vanishing Point is such a practical pen. And it's an awesome pen too. And the nib is great. And the Leonardos are really beautiful. Okay, can we talk about the primary manipulation Leonardo that I got? Because I really want everyone's opinion. Before I go, how do you tackle decluttering? I'm trying to as well, but I tend to block myself feeling overwhelmed and leave it for later, but later never comes. Yes, you are talking to the queen of procrastination and clutter and excess. And that is something I just recently addressed on my second channel. I kind of reached a point. We'll get back to the Leonardo, I promise. I reached a point that I just felt completely overwhelmed. Every year since I've been a reseller, which has been 5 years, in February, I don't thrift. I call it Thriftless February, and I take care of stuff. Like if I need to donate something, I donate it. If I have a pile of things that are unlisted, I list it. Like I take the whole month to just focus. And it's really hard being a YouTuber as well as a reseller because I feel like I have to put out content. So I'm like, oh, I should probably go thrifting today because then I can get stuff so I can film a video and put it up. And then it's like this cycle. And I never give myself time to step away and deal with all the clutter in my business and in my personal life. And it just adds up. So every year in February, I take the month off and I always feel so refreshed. This past February, I listed over 200 items, the most items listed in 1 month because I wasn't out thrifting. And it was one of my most profitable months because I wasn't spending any money either. And I have plenty of stuff in my house to list. I say all the time, I could not thrift for a year and I would not run out of things to walk around my house and thrift. So I finally made the decision. I wasn't waiting until February. We had some water in our basement this past week. And I knew I was kind of leading up to wanting to purge. I'm at 1,600 items in my inventory and probably 300 unlisted. And I just like maxed out when we got water in the basement. And there's a thought like, oh my God, if we have to make an insurance claim, what am I going to do with all this stuff? All my inventory, I have a ton of American Girl stuff from when I worked there, creative memory stuff. Like my basement is just littered with stuff. And it just really, I just kind of, that was my breaking point. So I put a video out and I just said, it's time to let go. And so my plan, so your question is, what is my plan? So my plan is to purchase 100 items less every month that I'm selling. So I sell, and I've been doing this for a while, so I just know my numbers, but I sell about 125 to 150 items on average per month. Last month, I ran a few sales. I sold 178 items, and I'm just talking about Poshmark. I do about $4,000 in sales on Poshmark, and the past few months, I've been averaging about 1,500 a month on eBay. So, um, so that number is probably more like 150 to 175 if I include my eBay sales, but I tend to track my Poshmark numbers better. Anyway, so my plan is to limit my purchases. So, and I'm limiting myself to 50 items a month that I'm going to thrift. So I'm trying to go for quality over quantity. And if I get to a point in the month, like I just checked my numbers today, I think I'm at 48 sales on Poshmark for the month. It's August 9th. So I'm on track, if you multiply that by 3, I should be at about 150 and the number of items I'm moving out. I'm not even talking about how much money, but I'm trying to lessen my inventory every month by 100 items is what I'm trying to say. So depending on what your clutter is, I don't know if you're talking from a reselling standpoint or from just like a life standpoint. I'm also going to do whatnot shows to get rid of stuff. That's a live sale platform for those of you who aren't familiar with it. And I'm going to have a standing appointment at a consignment store once a month. So whatever I'm not donating or selling in a live show or listing in my Poshmark closet, I'm going to bring to a consignment store. And today, I filmed it. So this video is going to go out on Friday. So one of my videos each week is now going to is going to be more about getting rid of stuff instead of buying stuff. And so I kind of talked to my audience in a video the other day and just said, look, this is going to change a little bit of my content. It's not going to be all about all the stuff I bought in one place, because that's what people tend to get excited about is the stuff and the piles and how much did you get and all that. And I just had to take a step back and say, I need to do this for me. And I looked around my basement and I thought, oh my gosh, what if anything ever happened to me? Like, and my kids had to deal with all of this. Like, I just don't need it, but I still buy a lot of pens. This is where I gave myself, because pens, if they grow out of this box, that's when I'm in trouble. So I feel like I'm allowing myself that vice with the pens, because it's also, like I said, it's like my therapy. Maybe that's my justification. But here we go. I'm sorry, I'm getting behind on comments. So just committing to it. So today, when we went through our shoes, we found 26 shoes that were in my inventory, but they weren't listed. So I don't have my shoes in a formal inventory. I use the system called Tote Scan, which is like a code that you scan. And I haven't tote scanned my shoes because I haven't gotten to it yet. Well, we found 26 shoes that were taking up real estate, that were good, like 2 pairs of Doc Martens, like these beautiful vintage cowboy boots, good stuff that was just sitting in boxes in my basement, unlisted. So we drafted 21 items. We donated 5 pairs of shoes, and I delisted and relisted some items and brought them into Vendu, which is my cross-listing service that I use. And yeah, I already feel better. So that's what I am doing. I think a lot of resellers could use the same reality check. So it should be good. Thank you, hun. I feel like there will be people who won't watch, and that's fine. Like I just need to do this for me. And based on the responses that I got from that video, I think we're close to 500 comments on that video that went out not even a week ago. I could not believe the amount of people whose story was similar to mine. There's a woman who DM'd me on Instagram today, and I was like in tears from her message. And I asked her if I could share her message on my next Thriftcast, because my Thriftcast, I will share comments and answer questions. So I just wanted to share her story. And she's like, oh, absolutely. So we'll have that to look forward to. Tina said, today was a great day. We are organized now. Oh my gosh, Tina, we got so much done. You got so much done. Tina was downstairs taking the pictures and drafting the stuff. And I was upstairs like researching, trying to find stock photos, making a couple things go live, removing the backgrounds. We're a good team, Tina. Lori, how's your downsizing going? I feel your pain. Yes. Okay. So I started to talk a little bit about that. Tom can sell me a Bic pen. Oh, you're talking about Tom from From Gold Spot pens, yes. Also, I got this at Gold Spot. This is where my ADD kicks in. I'm gonna jump from different things. This was the best price on Gold Spot, and if you watch, Tom is on a podcast with Penboy Roy, and every month he has a 10% off coupon code, and it's good on Scribos. So I got 10% off of that, which was great. And they also have like a rewards program as well. Um, where am I in the comments here? You're not alone, Lori. Most of us have the same issue. So Lisette, yes. Lisette, you recently got a storage system. Was that just to keep your business separate from your home, or was it like a space thing? I need to watch some of your stuff. Lisette also has a YouTube channel, and she recently got a storage unit, and she's been kind of doing the chronicles over there and how that's going and how her business is working from that aspect. I'd love to see it. Oh, Lisette saying hi to Tina. Thanks for pinging me, Lisette. Oh, you guys are great. I have the Leonardo primary manipulation, and it's a lot of teals and some magenta. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to shift gears really quickly. So reseller friends, bear with me. This is the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande, and this was really, I would say, an impulse buy for me. There is a guy, his name is Jonathan Brooks, and he does this, they call it primary manipulation, where the resins or the acrylics are beautiful, the colors that he uses. And this sells out all the time. And Leonardo usually only releases, correct me if I'm wrong, but they usually only do these pens with a 14 karat gold nib, which makes the pen significantly more expensive. So the one that Jay got me for my anniversary, this one is a 14 karat gold nib. And I was like, you got 14 karat gold? I would have saved the money because I love my steel nib one, but I'm not going to complain. But certainly I wasn't going to get another 14 karat gold nib because I have one and I really love it. And it's a medium nib, which is beautiful. It puts down a lot of ink. I'm very happy with that. So this was available with a steel nib with the primary manipulation. And in addition to that, they started doing this matte finish. So most of your pens, you're going to see, like, these are some of my Estabrooks, which I absolutely love. They're very polished and shiny, which we like shiny. But then the primary manipulation one, you had the option to get it in like the shiny polished one, or you could get a matte finish. So of course I watched Tom on Gold Spot. Yes, I'm like the perfect candidate for a sales pitch. And he bought himself one. And you know, as somebody who works for a pen company, I think it speaks louder when they actually put their money into a pen, because they can play with pens all day long. They have to really love a pen to buy it. And so Tom was saying that, you know, because they offered it in a steel nib and blah, 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 it was more affordable. So we went for it. And he's like, there might still be some available. So I go to the Gold Spot website, and wouldn't you know, there is one left. There is one left in the primary manipulation with the steel nib. And it was in a stub nib, which I don't have, which is like a wider nib. And it was the matte finish. And I'm like, oh, I got to do it. And I could use my 10% coupon that I was talking about. So bam, I ordered it, total impulse buy. Then it came in. Now I don't know, like, it's really nice, but I've been loving all my sailors, which are totally downside. They're minimal. I think I'm in Japan mode. So I'm thinking of just like simple. I love my Scribo because it's so calming. Like if I put these pens together, I've been carrying these three around with me. And they're just so calm, you know, or I can be in like this kind of a mood and do all my bright colors. So that's what I love. So anyways, here it is. Let me know what you think. I'm going to let you guys decide. So here it is. This is the primary manipulation. I'm going to tell you my issue with it because I love the stub nib. I love that it's a steel nib. It's brand new. I haven't written with it. It's just a lot of color. It's a lot. And I actually like neutral. Okay, I got to watch the chat here. I'm tickled that I have no idea what these pen terms mean. Sorry, Joni. I have a small, okay, I have to go back to some of we do love Lisette. Lisette is here for everybody. Okay, so here's my pen. So here's the back of it, which I kind of dig. I like those colors. You see how it's matte? It's like a really soft finish. The thing I don't, okay, I'm going to let you guys just tell me what you think. Tell me what you think first. Tell me in the comments if you like it, if I should keep it or return it. What I do love about this also is that it has an ink window. Some of the most expensive pens I have, they don't have an ink window, and you don't know how much ink is in there. So both of my Leonardos that I currently have don't have an ink window. So this has a lot going for it. Ink window, matte finish, really cool because it's the primary manipulation, less money because it was a steel nib. It had so much going for it. But what do we think, first of all? It's beautiful. Good morning, everyone. Oh, it looks like we have a friend from overseas here. Meme thinks it's beautiful. Good night for us. Okay. I guess my issue is I feel like Meme is my mom. This doesn't really match this part. Now I'm being a little crazy, but like if I flip it this way, I feel like that all is uniform, even though we're dealing with a lot of colors. You know what I mean? But when I turn it this way, it looks like the cap is on a completely different pen. Am I like, Lori, get over it? There's 1,000 colors in this pen. Just enjoy it. When I cap it, it's all right. I mean, it's a lot of color. Oh, Angie let Lumpy out. Angie, you got to open my door if you're going to let him in. So anyways, what's the verdict? Beautiful. I can see why you don't like it. I've heard the glossy is better. Hi, Angie. Japan is hot today. Oh my gosh, we have somebody from Japan here. Please, I'm so excited. Hi, Angie. You can come say hi. I'm live. I like the matte finish, but too many colors for me. Okay, everybody. Okay, Angie just got home from work and she's got Lumpy. Come here. Hi, Lumpy. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. Crazy,
Hi.
crazy. Meme's here.
Where?
She's in the live. Oh my.
Hi, Meme. How
Everyone's
are you?
like, oh
He's
my
so
goodness.
crazy.
He's nuts.
I threw the ball because I thought he wanted to play fetch, and then he just sprinted upstairs. I'm sorry.
Hi, Lumpy. Oh my
That
God.
is my bad.
He is nuts. Okay, I promise
Okay.
this will just be a minute.
Okay.
Okay, I love you.
Okay, baby boy.
Oh my gosh, I feel assaulted. Okay, I love you.
Bye.
You're very sweet, Lumpy.
You're crazy boy.
He's crazy. Angie, close that door, please. I love you. How was work?
It was good.
Okay, good. Oh my gosh. Okay, I am back. The matte finish doesn't show fingerprints. That's true. Do you recommend Banu? Absolutely. Beautiful, but it does look like two different pens. Oh, you're from Argentina. We have someone from Argentina, Angie. Yeah, it's nice, but I don't love it. Okay, you guys are with me, most of you. Meme says hi, Angie. Angie is so beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my God, Lumpy is really just so crazy. So my thought is, because I know Goldspot will take it back and I could like sell it on the secondary market, but I don't really want to do that. I kind of just want to, I'm thinking about the new Esterbrook is what I'm thinking about, the new brown Esterbrook, or just seeing if like Tom can look and find me one that might be like a little bit more streamlined. Angie, honey, he's going to have to go downstairs. He's right outside my door. So I'm just going to hold on to that. I appreciate everybody's feedback. I personally love the matte finish because I already have shiny finishes. I love the ink window. I was thinking that when I go to the Orlando Pen Show, there are people who turn pens and they're like custom made, and you can get all these really fun patterns. And I can be there in person and try the pen out myself. I don't know if Carolina Pen Company is going to be there because the DC Pen Show just happened last weekend, and that's called the Super Show. It's the largest pen show in the world. So I think that Orlando, I'm guessing, they just don't get as many people because it's so soon after the DC Pen Show. So it's my first time going to a pen show, so I'm really excited. I'm sure I'll find something beautiful, but I just haven't loved that to open it. Esterbrook JR and the special nibs are wonderful. Thank you, Rob. I really want to try the journaler's nib. That is on my list of things I want to try. I'm biased. I have 3 primary manipulation pens, so I say keep it. Really? You have 3? Yeah, this is PM1. I'm just learning all this stuff. And that is like, basically, this is how I get myself into trouble and end up with excess, because there's that mentality like, oh, these sold out so fast, and I don't know when these are going to be available again. And all those things, that's like the collector in me that I'm trying to move past and say, I don't love this. It was still expensive. I should probably choose something else that like really brings me joy because clearly so many things do, you know? But yeah, I really do want primary manipulation. Esterbrook. So the new Esterbrook, I absolutely love that brown one. I love it, but my rule is if you don't absolutely love it when you get it, return it. You know, I think I have to go by that. And you know what else I bought impulsively? This is a word of caution to me. I bought the Esterbrook Ferris Wheel Press collaboration pen. That's actually boxed up. And again, it's like so much color, but that one I inked up and I got it in a broad nib and it writes so beautifully that I think I can overlook it's got the diamond dust just like the Rocky top. I love this pen so much and I'm so excited for fall to use this one. I'm kind of a fall girl. I can't wait to get all brown pens into my rotation. Um, Okay, did I skip over any questions here? And I probably should look forward. This has been fun. How are we doing? We're already at an hour. My goodness. Um, what else can we talk about? Please leave some questions and also follow each other in the chat. Get to know one another. Lisette always is like a moderator for me. Lisette, I'm excited for your show tomorrow. Can you leave in the comments what time your Posh Live is tomorrow? And I think Love also does lives as well. Someone was asking if you're still on Noom. Yes, kind of. How do I answer this one? I log into Noom most days. I in total I had lost like 16 pounds on Noom. I am still down 12. So I've gained 4 pounds back. And it's been since the kids got home because we have a lot of takeout and for some reason summer is the hardest time of year for me to lose weight. I love the Noom program. In fact, I'm really excited. I just made a chili that is Noom. It's a Noom recipe, and that's what I had for dinner tonight. The basic pillars of Noom are that you are writing down what you eat. And it's kind of, I always say it should be called nudge because it's kind of nudging you towards healthy eating without being overly structured. Do hear lumpy because I kind of struggle staying inside the boxes. So even with Weight Watchers, as much of as much as I love Weight Watchers and I've had a lot of success through the years on and off with Weight Watchers, I feel like I could never like stick to the points and then I would end up just discouraged by the end of the day. What I like about Noom is it's really easy reading. You read for like 6 minutes, little like animated things and they're just ways to kind of reframe your thinking about how you look at food or how you interact with food, kind of prepares you for social situations, talks to you about different fad diets like keto, which I've done, or like low carb or the Mediterranean diet, like all these different things. It just gives you little snippets of education, which I like. So it keeps it front of mind. So you're reading a little bit, you weigh yourself every day, which is really good for me. And you chart what you eat. So those 3 components, when I'm doing all 3 of them, Noom is wildly successful. So what happens these days is I'll wake up, I'll weigh myself, I might log what I eat for breakfast and maybe lunch, and then by dinner I fall off, and then it's like 11:50 at night, and I'm scrolling through Instagram, and I say, "Oh, damn it, I never read for today." So then I try to read, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I forget. So when I'm on, it's so good. Like I really like how liberating it is. And you can eat whatever. It's mostly talks to you about calories. And I know it's criticized by some people because I guess I could technically have a Snickers bar and just count the calories. And then as long as I stay within my calories, I'm fine. And some people are like, well, not all calories are created equally. And I totally agree with that. So they categorize their food into green food, yellow food, and orange food. So basically, your green food, you sky's the limit. I don't think they limit that at all. And then based on your age and your weight and your goals and all that, they give you like an amount of calories for your yellow foods and your orange foods. So if I have an ice cream or something like that, it will say, well, these all go over to your yellow category. So if you max out on your yellows, I'm sorry, your oranges, which used to be red, but they found that that like messed with people's mind and mental health because they didn't want any foods to be red, so they changed red to orange. That's my understanding. But if you eat all your calories in the red orange zone, you're not going to be eating very healthy. So it kind of nudges you to eat more green foods. But I really like the flexibility of it. I really, really like noon. And as much as, I mean, I've partied this summer. Like I mean, we just had a lot of celebrations over the summer. And I feel like the fact that I've still kept, what did I say, 12 of the 16 off, I'm okay with that. I'm okay. And I think Jay's going to go back on Noom. He was doing it with me too, but of course he reached his goals really fast. Eat green ice cream. That's great advice. Um, oh, thank you. Fun having you on in the background. I swear by dirty keto. Oh, vegetables, some proteins and fat. Avoid potatoes, rice, pasta, and bread. Skip sugar, but cheese and wine is still allowed. I mean, I can't not eat cheese and wine. So that's very important to me, Rob. I think when I did keto, I did a lot. I was more in that camp of the dirty keto. I did like keto, but what I found with keto is like the minute I went off of it, the weight piled back on. And I do feel like with Noom, the fact that I've like technically not been on it like pretty much all summer and I've still maintained 12 pounds off. It's great. They also, if you are tracking your steps, because I have a Fitbit and it links up with Noom. So when you're walking, you can earn calories based on your output, like based on how much you're walking. So since I got lumpy, and they finished the street we live like off of a country road, but there's a new neighborhood that went in, and it's a great walk for me. Although Lumpy doesn't really like to go on walks. He's the only dog. He like digs in and doesn't want to move. I asked the vet about it. I'm like, I don't understand why. And then he's crazy. You just saw how crazy he is. But so the walking helps too. And that I think I've kept up the walking. So that's been something that's helped over the summer. Um, it's unique. It's beautiful. Keep it. Ooh, maybe I will. What I'm afraid to do as far as the Leonardo goes is if I actually ink it up. Once I ink it up, I'm all done because I know it's going to write beautifully. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really feel like I could be talked in either direction, in either direction. So I'm going to say will talk another 25 minutes. What do we want to talk about? Exactly. Dirty keto and eat a slice of pizza now and then. Down 45 pounds in about a year. Holy cow, that's awesome, Rob. I would be so excited with 45. If I lost 45 pounds, I would be like in my sweet zone forever. I would love that. Waco Tees, this is my son. Hey, can I have people over? I'm too scared to interrupt by calling. Figured this was my best option. Rocco, how many people? Not many. Um, that's my youngest petitioning. He always shows up. Oh my God, adorable. Usually he comes into the lives. He's the one that usually comes in, not Angelina. When I used to do lives, like a year ago or whatever, I think Lumpy like scratched my nose. I think, see, that's like a lumpy wound right here. Do you see it? Rocco used to come in and be like, "Hey, everybody, tell my mom to let me have a party." He had a couple people that really would like message me days later and say, "Just let him have friends over." So funny. Um, I joined late. Oh, that's okay. I'm still gonna be here. It's Marcus's birthday. I know. I thought you guys celebrated last night. Did you know you can realign your cap and body if you want to match it up better? Really? I did not know that. That sounds like advanced fountain pen. Like I'm not there yet. You remember those lives? Oh my gosh, those were funny lives. When Rocco would, yeah, come in and ask me to go away for the night. Okay, I ripped the plastic. That's not a good sign. Really? Do you think we can align this? I don't know that. See, that works. And then if I turn it, does that work a little bit better? Yeah, I feel like this would be a perfect alignment right here. This would make me happy because it doesn't align well now. That's really interesting. I actually like the pen a lot when it's uncapped. It's really fun. It's really fun. To be continued. So, does anybody have a suggestion? Is my friend from Japan still here? I wanted to chat with you about shops. Like, tell me the shops I need to go to. Where did my Japanese friend go? My friend from Japan. I don't know. Um, does anybody have a suggestion what they think I should get in Japan? If there's a special pen or something very special. I know they do have a lot of vanishing points that are exclusive in Japan. So I'm going to go for that. So glad I found this and tuned in. We're a bit late. Have you checked out the Moon Man P136 pens? Anyone know if they are really good as initial reviews? Piston fill in the ink window and almost. I have not tried the Moon Man. Is that the really chunky pen? I've heard a lot of people chat about that. It seems to be an affordable pen. I have not tried it myself. One of the pens that I found that is really affordable and I'm having a lot of fun with, and it's a knockoff of the Mont Blanc 149, is the Jinhao X156. This one in particular, I've been loving lately. And I actually did an ink sample of this. I can show you. This is my little ink book that I've been working on. This was from Sterling Ink last season. Excuse me. These were her seconds. I just got like a plain notebook and I decided to do like my currently inked in here. So what I do is, this is a bad example because it's so light. That wasn't my favorite combo. I will show you, I will do a really nice ink sample in the corner. And then I say the pen that I use. So this is the Sailor Refresh from Yoseka with a broad nib. And then I say the color of the ink over here. This is Ferris Wheel Press Stroke of Midnight. And then I just kind of write how the pen and the ink interact. And I've been doing that for a bunch of different pens and I've been loving it. So my Scribo, I started this is the Scribo with the Laban. I love this color. This is what I did with my Scribo. And it's really, really nice. But what was I talking about? Oh, the X159. I don't know if I did that page yet, but I've really been liking it. I have a nice brown ink in there. And these are like $5 or $6. They're fantastic. And how much do the Mont Blanc 149s cost new? Like 800, something ridiculous. It's a Jinhao X159, not 156. Did I say 156? I didn't mean to. Yes, it's fantastic. Yeah, it's wonderful. You have two, you love them. They are really good. I haven't used this one yet. I've never inked this one up. I was going to ship this to a friend and then they weren't really into fountain pens. So I might give this away on my channel when I do a pen thing, but I've inked these up and I have so much fun. And the Mont Blanc is black. So these are really fun, especially for the price. And they have a really giant nib, which is really fun. So if you're just getting into fountain pens and they all come, so sometimes you pay like whatever you pay for a pen and then it doesn't come with a converter and you have to buy a converter separately. One of my reseller friends was asking what a converter is. That's this. This is what you ink your pens. That is, you put your ink in here and then you put that into the bottom of the pen and then it goes. Or you can have a piston filler. And that's what my Scribo is. And that system is all internal. And you just have to put your nib right into the ink and you twist. Oh, and I just poured ink right on my page. And it just comes out and then it sucks up the ink out of the bottle. So the piston fillers are typically a little bit more expensive than your cartridge converters, but it's like a pet peeve of mine when I spend a fair amount of money on a pen and then it doesn't come with a converter. It makes me very sad. Just have to wipe up that ink. Okay, where are we in the chat here? Oh, Restyle Secrets is here. Hello, Heidi. How are you? Lisette was wondering where you were earlier. Restyle Secrets is a dear friend of mine as well, and she has her own YouTube channel, and she's doing great. I've been loving your channel, Heidi. What do we have here? I'm hinting for a Scribo for Christmas. M. Sean plans. I highly recommend the Scribo. I Love this pen so much, but it's also new, but I love it so much and I love this color so much. I'm so happy with my choices. I'm still getting used to the flex nib, but I love the option to either use it as a flex or use the fine nib. It's been so much fun. I love Lau. He's so nice. I'm still looking here. I am new here. I'm from Rhode Island. Love your videos. Are the Kaweco's good starter pens? Yes. I love Kaweco's. Love them. I'm going to share some of those with you too. In fact, I was saying in a recent video that I actually have more fun with my Kaweco pens than I do with my Twisbies. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I love the color of these and they're just cute and they're so portable. I in the video where I showcased my Scribo pen, I had ordered clips for all of my Kaweco pens, and these are my favorite. I like Kawecos better than Twisby. And there's nothing wrong with Twisbies. I just don't reach for them as much. So just for reference, this is a Twisby. So Twisbies are great because they're affordable. They're a piston fill. They're really reliable pens, and they come in all different colors. So you can get different colored tops. I have a bunch of clear ones here. And then this is not a good representation of Twisbies because usually people will buy them in all different colors. I got this secondhand. It came with a Banu. I wouldn't have bought this on my own, but it came with a Banu that I ordered. I got this Vodka on the Rocks Banus. Banus are really great writers, and they're a lot of fun. Banus are great if you like a lot of bling. So, oh, and this is a Kaweco student. So these are about like $60 or $70 for the students, but these are like $20 to $25. And you can get these on Amazon. You can go high end, like this one's brass. I got this one on sale. You can get the brass one for like $60. And then these are just so cute. All the colors. The Bordeaux is one of my favorite. And I put oxblood, diamine oxblood in here. I think these are fantastic starter pens. I think these are fantastic veteran pens. Like these are also great for travel because I don't worry about them. Like I worry if I throw my Scribo in my backpack and go someplace, but the Kawecos are so much fun and you don't have to buy the clip, but I thought it just looked nicer on all of them. And so the cap, some are gold, some are silver. So I got clips to match and I love them. Love them. There's a pearl. Mom, you're always wondering what to get me for Christmas. These Kawecos, they're Kaweco. These are awesome and they're on Amazon and you can get them in any colors. I like any nib. I'll be home in like 15 minutes, just me. That's Rocco. I guess he's not having friends over. Okay, I got to go back to the chat to see where we're at. The news are juicy writers for sure. That caramel latte, I got it with a fine nib. And in retrospect, I wish I had gotten it in a broader nib because my feeling is, and not everybody agrees with this. This is the other thing that's awesome about fountain pens. There's no judgment. Like some people like extra fine nibs and they have tiny, tiny writing. And so they may hate a broad nib and and nobody cares. Like everyone's like, what's your perfect combo? So for me, if I have these like really bright pens, like this is the bourbon. I got this secondhand. I got this secondhand. You guys check out your secondhand platforms because you can get some really good deals. I got this. This is like a $120 pen. I got it for 40 bucks secondhand, free shipping, and it came with ink. So these are all of my Banus. But if I have a real crazy pen like this, I want to see the ink. I want to use a broad nib. I want to use like sparkly ink. I feel the same way about my Esterbrook's. I got this candy nib. I got this at Apple Boom for Mother's Day, and it's got a fine nib. And I feel like I wish this nib was bigger because it's a bright pen. And this I got secondhand. I think this is a discontinued Esterbrook, but it has an extra fine nib. I'm going to actually take this with me to the Orlando Pen Show because I want to have this. I want a custom grind done on this. I want to see if they can make this into a journaler's nib for me. But yeah, so when I have the big bright pens, I want like a broad nib, but like this is a fine nib and it's a Japanese fine, which is even more fine than a Western fine. But that's just what I wanted with this very like refined professional looking pen. So yeah, it depends on my mood, but I love them all. I love them all. A rural squirrel. Hi, I'm so glad you caught up. Nice to see you here. You got the iced caramel latte. Do you love it? What kind of nib did you get? I love that pen. I love it. Um, Oh, Bunga Box Sailor collab in Japan. Yes, there's a Bunga Box. Am I saying that right? There's a store. There's a Bunga Box store in Japan, but those are Sailor, right? Those are Sailor pens. But Bunga Box design, correct me if I'm wrong. Um, those are expensive pens. I wouldn't buy them here, but I've loved some of their designs. Yoseka carries them and they're beautiful, but I feel like they're very pricey. But I do want to check them out. That could be a good investment in Japan if the price is right. What secondhand platforms have you used and recommend? I've used them all. I'm on Poshmark all the time because that's where my main job is. And but I would say that there's probably a better selection on Mercari, but I feel like they go faster on Mercari. I feel like more pen people are on Mercari than are on Poshmark. I also look at the Real Real. If I get a Mont Blanc, it's going to be from the Real Real because I'm a reseller. I have sent them clothes and I have a credit there. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Excuse me. So I have like a $260 credit that I'm just waiting for the right Mont Blanc pen, which is probably going to be a 149. So I've been looking on the Real Real for that. I got a fake Mont Blanc on Mercari. That was an episode. I did a video on that too, but they refunded my money, no problem at all. But I have bought on Poshmark, I've bought on Mercari, on eBay, and I've been looking on the Real Real. So just check them out because I think what happens with fountain pens is they can be an investment and people get very excited like any hobby. And some people will buy their fountain pens and then you start getting inks. And even if you stick with the hobby, as you move along in your journey, you realize, oh, I don't really like extra fine nibs. And when I first got started, I bought these 3 pens and now I don't use them anymore. So they'll sell pens that they don't use anymore so that they can save for pens that they do want. So there's a lot of like one in, one out within the pen community. So I think a lot of people just figure out what they like and then they may sell some, or they get into the hobby and then they get out of it and they just want to recoup some of the money. Um, I would love a little pen group in Boston that we could like. I also have so many freaking inks. It's ridiculous. And I'm never going to use all my inks. I feel like it would be really fun to have like an ink swap and talk about pens. And that's why I was so excited to do this live because not many people talk to me about pens. And I don't fault them for that, but it's really nice to be around pen people. Heidi says, I'm a writer trying to understand pen people. What is the intersection of the pen and the words, if that makes sense? What is the intersection? What do you mean, Heidi? Hey, Justin, how are you? Do you still talk to Mike Hawk? I don't know who Mike is. Oh, funny. CC needs to be, we need to block CC. Where are you? Hide user. There we go. Freshie. Okay, we just hid him from my channel, but he got me to say just what he wanted me to say, so I fell for it. So Heidi, all I can say about the pen that I use is that I get, oh, Sir Bobcat, I'm half Japanese and I went to visit my family there less than a week ago. All right, Heidi, you have to be put on hold because I need to hear some stuff about Japan. Glad you're planning to go there. The Mont Blanc 147 Traveler is worth exploring and it is well used and came in a lovely Mont Blanc Travel. They had a Traveler one on the Real Real and I was hesitant because I don't know anything about it. But the 149 with the calligraphy nib or go broke, get an MB Hemingway. Oh, geez, I don't even know what the Hemingway is. 149. My only concern about the 149 is that I'm having fun with this. And is it really worth all the money? Or am I just getting like swept away by Mont Blanc and that giant nib? That is fun. Where do you get secondhand pens? Yana, I said earlier, I look all over the place. I've found a lot on Mercari. You can get them on eBay. You can get them on Poshmark, though not as prevalent. But it really depends. Like I'm looking for specific pens now. So a lot of them pop up and I'm just not interested in them because I either have them or I'm going in another direction. You can find a lot of like Schaefer's and vintage pens. If you're into, excuse me, vintage pens, you can find them everywhere. I haven't gone down the vintage pen hole. Do you guys want to hear a funny story about a vintage pen? This is really, really funny. So I was looking for vintage pens. This one is a vintage Esterbrook and it popped up on Poshmark. And I have no idea how I did this, but I bought it for full price without any, like, I just pressed buttons. I had no intention of buying it. It was literally this weird series of events where I bought a pen without sending an offer. It was probably a little more money than it should have been. It was $70. You can get these for about 40. I would have never paid full price for it. I bought it and I'm getting ready to submit the return request or like cancellation because I realized that I bought it. And minutes later, I'm like, I didn't mean to buy that. So I go onto Poshmark, and before I go to submit my cancellation request, someone slides up and she's like, "Thank you so much for buying this from me. I've been following your YouTube journey for years. Thank you so much for supporting me. This means so much to me." And I read it to my husband. He's like, "You can't return that pen, Lori." I'm like, "I can't return the pen." So I bought this pen for $70. So this was my first vintage pen from Esterbrook. And I had no intention of buying it, but I couldn't not keep the sale because it was a fellow reseller who watches my channel. And I'm like, okay, I guess I have a vintage Esterbrook. So I think I might get a new nib for this Esterbrook because you can swap the nibs on Esterbrook pens, which is really cool. And they have a converter. So if you get a modern pen or a vintage pen, you can put a converter on and swap vintage nibs with modern pens and vice versa, I think. Okay, back to questions here. Glad you're planning to go there. Where do you get your secondhand pens? I'm just this live is about 3 seconds delayed, so I just keep seeing my hands move. And I hope I'm not like traumatizing anyone with my Italian hand gestures. Desktop objects like pen and pencils are awesome in Japan. Okay. You know what I want is a pen holder, like just a little basic wooden pen holder, because I have this light, and when it goes overhead and I'm doing my pen reviews, they roll all over my desk. So I have a little velvety thing that I use, but I just want like a little wooden pen holder. So I'm planning on getting that. I also want to get is it Kakamori, the nib, the brass dip pen. I want to get that in Japan. Anderson pens sell secondhand and vintage pens also. I watch their pencast too. They're so sweet. They just had like a block party. They're in Wisconsin, right? Hey all. Hi Beth. Welcome. I live in Mass. We think we're near each other. Do you do any local meetups? Galen Leather has great little pen holders. Yes. Does anybody, you guys follow Karina Loves to Plan? She's in Canada and she just got a Galen Leather, the wooden pen holder, and it's the shape of a nib. I love Galen Leather products too. That's another company that I know was at Washington, D.C. at the D.C. Pen Show, but I don't think they're going to be in Orlando. And they are out of Turkey. So when I order stuff, I've ordered from them and it takes so long to come in the mail and I'm impulsive. So I'm hoping that they have some representation in Florida because I would love to get some Galen Leather. That's another thing about fountain pens, Heidi, to answer that question. One of the things that I really love about pens and the people, it's a totally different group of people than I've ever kind of hung out with, for lack of a better word, but it's international. Like I watch like Joost Appelboom is in the Netherlands, and then I love following CY. He is a nibmeister in Japan, and I listen to his podcast. It all of the I watched a tour at Scribo before I bought my Scribo. I watched one of the tours at the Scribo company factory. And then Joost Appelboom also does interviews with all of these pen makers, and they're from all over the world. And I find it fascinating. So I feel like I learn little things about different countries just based on a pen. And I don't know, I'm not like the deepest person. I'm not very well read, but I really enjoy like learning about different places through my pen adventures. The Kakamori brass pen dip. brass dip pen. I have to get that. I had it in my cart at Yoseka, and I thought, I think that would be a fun thing to buy in Japan. And I'm sure I'm going to buy a lot of different inks. So, yeah, the food in Japan. Oh, Sir Bobcat, could you drop in the comments a couple places you think we should go? We're going to be in Ginza, definitely. There were a couple neighborhoods that I had written down that I want to go to in Tokyo. I want to go to the Travelers Company at Tokyo Station. Is there a store that features Hobonichi stuff called Tobichi? Is that correct? The Kakimori nib. And then the Ancora store I wanted to try. I don't know how far we're going to be able to get out of Tokyo. Superior Labor leather. Okay. Also at the Orlando Miami Pen Show, make inquiry about the Black Pen Society if Paul Urano is at the show. That sounds mysterious. I want to be a part of the Black Pen Society. I will definitely ask about that. Superior Labor is another company out of Japan that I desperately want to visit. That's going to be a train ride. They make all these gorgeous, I have something from Superior Labor that I could share with you, but they make gorgeous bags. They're all handmade in Japan. And the problem is they are always sold out in America. Like they have one store called, is it Baumkuchen? And I believe they're in California. And certain stores also carry their stuff, like Yoseka carries a couple pieces from them, but they're always sold out. So then you go on the secondary market and they're super expensive on like eBay and places like that. So I was kind of hoping that I could get to the store in Japan. But even, I think the website I went to was called NAP, that carries the Superior Labor products. And even there, it looks like a lot of their stuff is like custom made to order. So I don't know, but that's definitely on my list. Sir Bobcat, if you have any recommendations about the Superior Labor, you should visit Odabi. It's such a nice place. Is that for food or for pens? I'm writing it down. I'm going to take a screenshot right now so I don't forget that. Wonder Pens in Bow. Okay, Wonder Pens is in Canada, right? That's in Toronto and 25 Market. That's where I got my pouch. I got my engineer pouch from 25 Market. They have a bunch in stock right now. Oh, 26 Market. Okay. Have you seen Superior Labor's magnetic pen holders? Yes, they're always sold out and I want it. Are these like the little 2 pen? They're like short and they just stick right on the front. Is that the one? I feel like they're always sold out. Always sold out here, but incredible pen holders. Yes, that is exactly what I'm talking about. Baumkuchen is my neck of the woods. Ooh, Plan Budget Disney. Have you ever been? Oh, also, we might go to Disney Japan. I don't know if that's worth a trip. Jay's more of a Disney guy than I am, but I think it would be cool. It's pretty close. Wonder Pen said they're restocking in September. Okay, so see, this is what happens to pen people. We chase our tails because there are always these like exclusive things and then they sell out quickly. And this is exactly how I ended up with a lot of clutter in my other life. So yeah, pens really feeds into all of my all of my weaknesses. But okay, so I have had so much fun. Do you guys want to keep chatting? I can go until 9:45. I just don't want to bore anybody. We have 72 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's really nice to connect with everybody and finally talk to some people. Friends just got back from Japan Disney and they loved it. So yeah, Disney in Japan, they have, it's called the Seas, the Land or the Seas. They have a special park that is exclusive to Japan. I hear the pup again. Oh, here's Rocco. Rocky's home. Hi, honey. My question. Oh, you have a question. It's coming. Hi,
She
honey.
ignored my question.
No, everyone thought it was really sweet. Hi, honey. How are you?
Oh, good.
How was Marcus's birthday?
It's about to be a lot better.
Why? Where are you going for it? No,
No?
I don't think so. We'll
Why not?
talk. I don't know how many
Come
people.
on, they gotta support it.
I don't know if you have your fans here.
It's my best friend's birthday.
Meme said, "Good night, sweetheart. Past my bedtime." Meme, say good night to Rocco.
Good night, ma'am. Love you.
Night, Mama. Thanks for hanging out with us. I know this was a long time.
We'll see.
Is Dad home yet?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, we can talk.
All right, we'll
Friends are saying hi. Okay. Love you.
Bye,
Love you, Rock. Partay. No. This is what he does. He catches me when I'm on a live because he thinks I'm going to be nicer in the live than I would if I wasn't on my live. Um, Cindy says it's the same FOMO business in the knitting world too. It's how the yarn stash is out of hand for sure. It's really interesting, huh? How we all function that way. Tokyo Disney Sea. Yes, not land, sea. Nice. Disney, do you recommend anything you think would be in stock? Um, as far as superior labor goes, Beth, I'm not sure if that question was for me. I just blew a whole bunch on the primary manipulation pens. It's so gorgeous, right? Yes, I have that too, and I'm debating on that one, but yeah, I don't know. This has just been really fun for me, the whole pen scene. I'm excited to try the B6. This is also another little ink journal where I do sketches in here in a little stalogy. So in this, I take an ink and I just do a little sketch. So I do some writing and then I do a little sketch. This is a sad picture of the J. Herbine Cacao de Brazil. that's I think on the cover. And then this was a diamine. This was a exclusive for Cult Pens that was sold with Kaweco around the holiday season. Did I already put it away? Where's the little Kaweco this came with? This bottle of ink came with this little gold Kaweco pen. So you can get store exclusives. This is a Cult Pen exclusive. You can get good deals on that. You know what I wanted to ask my pen friends before we go for the evening? I'm ever trying to buy second in the same pen, slightly different colorway. Swatching is my favorite thing to do. It's how I ended up with 500 inks. Oh my gosh. Beth. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love that stalogy and how you're using it. Thank you. Does the pen feed the writing or is writing the vehicle for the pen love? Oh, that's a good question. Does anybody want to answer Heidi's question? In my case, I can only speak for myself. The pen feeds the writing. I was never a writer before fountain pens. I was always a planner wannabe, but it was more about like the stickers. And then I kind of lost my sense of planning in 2020. I think many of us did. And I had a hard time like getting back into planning. But I used to do scrapbooks. So I was really into memory keeping. But when I got introduced to fountain pens, Heidi, now I just love the actual writing part of it. Like my daughter's like, Mom, I can't get into fountain pens. I don't like my handwriting. I don't like writing. She basically keeps everything on her phone, like in her notes section. She has a lot of her thoughts and dreams and things like that, but they're all in her notes. Like I like to write things down. And then people are like, what if anybody gets a hold of your journals? I said, I wish my life was that exciting that I had things to hide, but really, there's nothing most people can't see. As a writer, I'm happy to hear about anyone discovering it. Honestly, I am so okay. Wait 1 second, because I want to just show you really quickly if I have them over here. I have never completed a journal in my life ever. And I'm on my third notebook. So this, and I love, because I also like things pretty. And so usually when they get unpretty, I'm like, oh, it's not as much fun. And I just wrote Lumpy was here because he literally ate my notebook and it didn't even matter. I still wrote in this every day. He chewed on it. So this was my second notebook that I filled up and I wrote every single day, Heidi. Look at that. And this is where I test out all of my pens and I have no rules in my morning pages. You're supposed to write for 3 pages. Heidi, you know this book. What's the book that this is from? I use the inks and pens for multimedia artwork. Oh, that's awesome. Fountain pens improve my handwriting so much. They make me want to write so much more. Yes. Also with fountain pens, you don't have to press down. So if your hands get tired, they're recommended a lot to people who have arthritis because you don't have to bear down, like the ink just comes out. I don't know. It's just a thing. The artist way. Thank you. Yes, Heidi, the artist way. Because you were saying that your daughter does morning pages, but you couldn't get into it. So I love it. And then I go back and what's weird about it is I don't go back and read my stuff. Somebody asked me that. I feel like once the thoughts are out, they're out. But I will tell you, like when my dad was sick and I would go back to some of my journal entries during the winter, yeah, this really helped me. I think that was a little bit of a perfect storm with my dad being sick, because I started writing around the same time, because I discovered fountain pens last September, and my dad had his MRI in October, and he had started to feel pain in August. So it all kind of aligned together. Oh my gosh, my chat is back. My chat is back on the screen. Oh, this is so much better. Use ink and pens for multimedia. Artist Way. Okay. I've always loved writing instruments, but it wasn't until, okay, see now I can show this on my screen. Where have you been? The whole thing. That I began transcribing for the love of writing the experience in inks. Yes, I find this so fascinating. I know a couple people that they just transcribe books. That's what they do. They practice, they use their fountain pens and they're just transcribing novels. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I haven't ventured into that world yet, but I can see the appeal. I really can, because it's like it's an excuse to journal. Journals can show you your feelings or troubles don't last forever. Yes. So Heidi, do you write? You just don't write in the morning? Obviously you write, but what style would you say you use? And Heidi, DM me your address, because I'm gonna send you one of these pens, okay? If you don't have one already. Just bought the glossy Leonardo primary manipulation in broad. I had to have it. You get it. If you hate it, you'll return it. Were you here for earlier? Have you seen it? This is mine. I got the matte. And were you the one who said that we could line this up? Because I think it's the lineup that's bothering me. I don't know. This week I am in like Japan mode, and I'm thinking of all things simple. I am absolutely obsessed with this home pen from Yoseka. This is the only Sailor Pro Gear that I have. All of my other ones are Pro Gear Slims, which are slightly smaller and thinner. Not by a lot, but you can see like there's tiny bit height difference. But I love this. Oh, remind me, I need to ask about pelicans. What did she say? I think your dad is with you. I just saw an orb when you got up. Aw. Somebody else commented before about how many orbs are in my when I go live. And they said something to it. This is my dad's pen. I've shared this story so many times, but this is the Leonardo Visconti, and this is the lava pen. When I was researching, I wanted to get a significant pen, like to just make me think of my dad when he was sick. And not when he was sick, but while he was sick, I'm like, I want a pen like that's a tribute to my dad. I think a lot of you have heard this story before. So I looked online and I said, he had lung cancer. So I said, what is the color ribbon for lung cancer? And it was white. So then I said, I'm going to start looking for a white pen. And then I was watching, who's the guy? I can't even think of his name right now, but he does like touring Italy. He was an actor, bald, glasses, Stanley Tucci. He travels around Italy. So he was in Sicily, and he was talking about the volcano and the background. And then I was online shopping, and then I saw that this was the Visconti Homo sapiens, which is their flagship pen, and that they made it with the lava. Like, so this is made out of lava. And so it's virtually indestructible. I'm like, oh my gosh, all this is lining up. My dad was Italian. It's white. And I'm watching this show. And then to boot, you could personalize these and you can change the finial out. So I took out the V and I got the crab because my dad was born on the 4th of July. I'm July 9th. So we're both Cancers. And also he had cancer. Not that I want to like glorify that in any way, but it was mostly like our bond because my dad and I are the same zodiac sign. So I got this pen while my dad was in treatment. And so this is like kind of my most cherished pen. And it's beautiful. It's heavy. This is the Homo sapien. Endless Pens had double discount on that Sailor Tea Time new pens. I love the Tea Time ink. I write parts of novels, used to do screenplays, to-do list, character studies, list of questions to ask my friends. She asks a lot of questions. Heidi is a big contributor to the Thriftcast because she always sends me amazing questions. She always challenges me with fantastic questions. Yeah, you do. I think you have a list of questions for my decluttering. We need to talk. We need to set up a date, Heidi. We need some FaceTime. Um, I'm not sure about TR paper. They have a lighter, apparently less bleed through paper. Oh my gosh, I never even addressed. My mom was on the talk all night and I never talked about the $1 paper that doesn't bleed for my budget friends. Jot. Somebody on YouTube did a whole thing on this paper. If it's made in India, and then I read on Reddit, there's another paper that made in, I think it was Brazil. People are talking about pelicans. I'm getting so sidetracked. Anyways, I'm not joking. I've been writing lists and lists on this paper and it does not bleed and it doesn't even go through. So give a pen. Let's get a big juicy pen that we can write with. I'll do my Homo sapien. I have red in here because it was the 4th of July. My dad was born on the 4th of July, so I put red ink in here. But I am just going to do. Oh, I cleaned it out. There's no ink in here. I have one other pen. Well, I'll talk about that later. Which one should I use? Okay, I guess I'll use my little cheapy one. I have the Pelican M605 Black Tortoise coming tomorrow. That is fantastic. I want a tortoise one, first of all. Do you guys think they're going to come out with a new one in the fall? I do not have a Pelican. Of all my pens, I have not bought a Pelican. When I bought the Scribo, I was between the M800 in brown black because I love brown. The tortoise one was just out of my price range. And the Scribo and the Mont Blanc 149, and I went for the Scribo. But the Pelican is also one that I think I want to write with. But anyways, this is the Jinhao. Another thing that I want to do for future lives that I do, but I think I have to pay for a subscription here on StreamYard, is you can use a second camera. So I can put my phone above so you can see overhead when I'm writing. But I'm just going to write testing. No feathering. It's unbelievable, this paper. And it's been so great for just like jotting notes. Okay, so I wrote pretty thick on here. No feathering. Isn't that amazing? So if you're not familiar with fountain pens, it doesn't work on all papers. You can like bleed through to the other side. But look at that. It doesn't even go. It's like barely any ghosting. I pressed down really hard over here. This is from the dollar store. So I got 3 notebooks. I got this one that was lined. And then I bought, this was at the Dollar Tree. Oh, I'm so sad. And my mom went to bed and I didn't. And then I got this one. I'm not crazy about like the covers, but this one is dot grid. And then this one, I believe, is just grids. Oh no, this one's just blank. I take that back. So these were $1 a piece and they have been so much fun for just playing, you know, because the fountain pen paper is expensive. And if you're just like messing around with inks and pens, you don't always want to use really good paper. So those have been fantastic. Do you have the vanishing point? My vanishing point is a medium nib and I really, really love it. So yes, I have the black matte. Here we go. Pelican 120, 600, 800, 1000 are awesome. Yes, the upswell from 200, 400 is all about the gold nib on the 400 and steel for 200. So I think I would go for the gold nib. The thing that I'm trying to avoid in purchasing my first Pelican is getting a smaller one with a smaller nib or a steel nib to kind of like hold me over when I know I really want the M800, because I feel like the size of that one is good. But I held the 600 and it felt really light. It looks like it's going to be such a substantial pen. And then I held it when I went to Apple Boom and it just didn't feel the way I wanted it to. Then he said, try the 1000. And then that was unbelievable. But that was a little out of my price range for the time. The $1.25 store now. Yes, it's $1.25, Heidi. You're right about that. I also got these little tiny notebooks, which are really cute. They had all different patterns, and these are all, if they're made in India, they're fountain pen friendly, because my mom had bought me a few other notebooks, and it bled right through, and it was feathering all over the place, and it went through, and so I couldn't use those, but I went back, and I've just been loving having kind of like paper that doesn't cost so much money. I have a VP and a 1 millimeter stub. I want to get the extra fine nib unit. Yes, because you can swap out the units in these too, right? I would like to try, I do think, or maybe I'll get the Decimo. It's a little bit thinner, but I kind of like the size of this. I love the black mat. I don't know where I'm going to go from here because I really like the black mat. All right. And is everybody tired from talking about pens? Should we do this again? I feel like I should say goodnight at some point. How are we doing? Oh, the Decimo. Yes, that looks like that is jot paper from the dollar store. Yes, that's it. Try the Moonman A2. We love the Decimo. I know. Isn't it fun to talk about pens? This is the thing. Heidi, do we have mostly fine nib people or broad nibs? For me, it kind of depends on the day. What about the Pelican? Yes, I think that would be something I look for at the Orlando Pen Show because I feel like someone's going to have it. But the brown one, they don't make anymore, the brown black. I use everything but broad, depending, broad or stub. Fun. I am not a fine nib person, mostly medium stub or broad. Hello, Marie. Thanks for being here. I'm seeing some new faces. It's so nice. Let's do it again. More pen discussion. I feel like all the pen people are here, so we can keep talking about pens if we're just doing pen. So if you're new to this channel, I have a second channel called Lori's Boston Found, and it's all about thrifting. This channel I started just a little over a year ago, and it started out where I was talking about Weight Watchers, and I was doing grocery hauls and all different things. And now I just talk about pens. So I feel bad for the people who subscribe to this channel for different content, because now all I want to do is talk about pens. The Vanishing Pen Stripes is gorgeous. Oh, in stripes? I haven't seen that one. Loads of used Pelicans and vintage. Bring more cash than you wanted to. ATM fees are then avoided at pen shows. Rob, ready? I have a stash already. I've been putting cash in here. Is it over here? This is my Orlando Pen Show stash right here. I've been like saving that because I'm married to an accountant, so I always have to use cash. So he doesn't know how much I'm really spending. No, he knows. He knows. Depends if it's German or Japanese nib. Correct. Yes. So the certain pens, I'm trying to think if there's a pen. So this is an extra fine, and I'm not loving this. I don't know. I bought this secondhand. I wouldn't by choice get an extra fine in an Esterbrook because I buy Esterbrook pens for color. So I like a broader nib. But this, I want to have something done, or at least find an ink that works in here. I find that Diamine ink does well, and Pelican ink behaves pretty well. Pilot Carbonesque Black is amazing. Ooh, I haven't seen that. I'm unfamiliar with that. I used Parker fountain pens in high school that I got at the drugstore. Then there was an unfortunate purse incident. Oh, it sounds like you lost them. You need a new one, especially for somebody who loves to write. Extra fine is great to draw with and use waterproof ink. Yes, that's really fun. I started to watch I wish I knew the person's name, but it was somebody who was using fountain pens for artwork specifically. And I think one of them recommended like a Twisby too, because they were looking for something with big ink capacity. I'll tell you what my absolute favorite extra fine nib is, and that is this, the E95S. I got this for a steal. I think it was $50 on Mercari or Poshmark, and it just said like good used condition. It looks like it's never been touched. It is so beautiful. This is such a fun pen, and it's like a pocket size, but this is an extra fine Japanese nib, and it is so amazing. 14 karat gold. This is my favorite extra fine nib that I have. I never have a problem like with skipping, or it's so consistent. Freaking love it. I collect all the hooded nibs I can get my hands on. Oh, fun. I was able to get a Twisby Jade. That one's really pretty on eBay as they are discontinued, and it was one I had been waiting for. That popped up either on Mercari or Poshmark, and I didn't get to it fast enough. There aren't many. I was saying earlier, Marie, that I'm kind of more of a Kaweco person than a Twisby, but I do love Twisbys. I just have a lot of fun with my Kawecos, and maybe it's because the Twisbys that I have, like I have the 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 580, and it's clear. And then I ended up getting this stub nib, which was also clear. This came in like a fountain pen bundle of used pens that I got. And then I have the Eco in the rose gold, which I can't find. It's the one pen that I've lost. That was my first big investment pen, was my rose gold Eco. And this came in a bundle, and it's the glow green, and it's an extra fine, so it doesn't really do much for me. So I think I'm just buying the wrong Twisbys. I need to start buying Twisbys in colors that I love, because I love my Kawecos in all the different colors. What a deal on the E95S. Yes, such a great deal and such a great pen. Let me see here. Penguin is the big pelican guru and seller at the pen shows. Rick Propus. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I have a 3-day pass for Orlando, so I can go Thursday and check things out. I definitely want to make an appointment for some nib grinds. That's part of my plan in Orlando. You won't need nail polish. Your fingertips will be stained with ink, I bet. I want an SD Montana Sapphire. I don't know that one so much. Yeah, it's some of these secondhand ones. Is it peacock? It's like a purpley diamond, and it has the diamond dust. And it was at the same store as this. And somebody wrote in and they said, thanks for the recommendation on that store. They sent the Rocky Top and the other one. And I'm like, damn it, I should have picked up that other one too. Because I think as far as collections go, I feel like I'm really prone to collecting the SDs. I love them. I know the Commonwealth show is not happening this year. Hold on one second. I have to go see what my pup is up to. One sec. Baby, come on. Hi, baby. Hi. Hi. You want to come say hi? Come on up. Come on up. All right. Hi, Lumpy. Somebody, I think I was watching Hemingway Jones, and he was saying, easy, mister. He was saying that there's in Munson, Mass, there's going to be some sort of just a sponsored pen show, like very small scale in Munson. I tried to get Lumpy, you can't be near all these pens. I'm going to get him down. The peacock is, yes. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Do you have a flex nib on a pen? If so, what do you have? I have a flex nib, my very first flex nib, and it's on my Scribo. It's a fine flex nib. I would have gotten I don't know if I had the choice to get a medium flex. I decided to do the fine flex. I'm not typically a fine nib person, but I thought I would be able to see the flex better if it went from fine to flex. So I don't know that I'm really good at the flex nib yet. I don't know if I'm holding it properly or what the issue is. It's not an issue. I'm just getting used to it, but I'm really happy that I got it, and the nib is beautiful, and you don't have to flex it if you don't want to. So that's kind of a cool thing. I tried to get the Rocky Top, but they said they were out. Oh, from that same store? That's too bad. They had a bunch. What kind of converter do you use on the E95S? I don't know. Let me see here. Oh, you know what I did? I just filled an ink cartridge. I took a Pilot ink cartridge and I filled it because I hate Pilot converters. They're too small. September 17th. Is that the Munson one? I don't know. I think it's the Con 40. Probably that's what came in this, was the Con 40. Scriptus is 1 day in Toronto, worth the 1 day in the main library, normally free entry. I have not been. Fun. It's nice to see people able to connect. I look forward to seeing your Scribo Flex progress. Oh, thank you. I did do a video on my Scribo because when I first opened it. But I haven't. And I'm using it more and more. Let me see. I probably have a sample of it because I've been writing with it in my Hobonichi an awful lot. And Lumpy is eating one of my dollar notebooks. At least it's not. Lumpy, give that to Mama. He's a menace. He's a menace. Everyone's home downstairs. I can hear people coming in little by little. Where is it? Sorry, folks. I feel like I just did an entry with it. Well, this is a little bit with the flex. See where it did rainy day? That was with the flex nib. And then this, so all of the pink writing is with my Scribo. And this is 3 different pens on one page. Talk about like me having a hard time focusing. The brown is my Kaweco white pen. The black is my Pilot Vanishing Point, and the pink is my Scribo. So yeah, on one page. That's why I love fountain pens, because I'm all over the map. I don't have a big birthday coming up yet. Yeah, the Scribo is definitely a big birthday purchase. So I lucked out that I happened to have a milestone birthday this year. Hello, good morning, Thomas. Where are you checking in from in the morning? So cool. Night all. Nice talking to you. All right, folks. I think we are at the 1:59, 30 seconds. So I am going to call it. It's been really fun chatting with you. I will definitely do a live again. I love talking about pens. We had so much fun here tonight. So I hope to see you back. Tomorrow, I will probably put out my Yoseka home video. And yeah, I'm not as consistent on this channel as I am on my my main channel, which is Lori's Boston Found, because I do about 2 videos over there each week. That's like my main job. And this I've just been having so much fun with. So stay tuned. There'll be lots of vlogging in Japan. And then I'll be at the Orlando Pen Show. If you happen to be there, definitely come say hi. And I look forward to connecting with you guys in the future. So thank you so much for being here. And I hope you all have a great night. All right, everybody. Sweet dreams. Thanks for being here. Bye. Oh, everyone, the last comments here. Calligraphy course, fun. Brian and Drew said the Falcon. Oh, that's a good one. All right. Thank you, everybody. Oh, from India. Hello. Oh, 8 a.m. Oh, Thomas, good morning in India. I want to talk about pens from India. Maybe we'll do that next week. Thank you guys so much. I really had fun chatting with you. Have a wonderful night. Hi, Kartika. Good night. Hello. Goodbye. Thanks, everybody.